We got an hour to spend together, so let's make the best of it. Here we are, guys. Let me turn my screen over to you. Ruby Goldberg had to apologize again. Do you guys remember what happened earlier this year with
Well,
Whoopi
she does
Goldberg?
have a big mouth and likes to chew on her foot.
Yeah, sometimes I think she says too much. I was kind of feeling sorry for her on this one. I think the cancel culture, a little bit ridiculous on that one. Let me explain why. Whoopi Goldberg had to apologize a second time for comment about Holocaust when she appeared to repeat the same claim that got her suspended from ABC's The View in February.
Okay, so here's my thing: is you say it once, okay, you can brush it off as a mistake, but if you turn around and say it again, that's not a mistake. That's something you really believe.
But the claim that she said here is slightly different than the one before. The one before was she said the Holocaust wasn't about race, it was about men's inhumanity to men. This one, she said that the Holocaust wasn't about race, it's about white violence. And when I heard that, I said maybe she was trying to leverage the Republican as the ones who are the white violence kind of group. Maybe this was a political statement in the hope that she was making a stand for democratic views, but it backfired really, really bad. I thought that's what how they say all Republicans are racist kind of thing.
Hmm.
So I'm guessing maybe she was using the white violence as a mean to support that. I don't know the context of it, but I don't think she was actually trying to go after the Jews in this sense. That's different than what she said at first. I'm
But
just
I
trying to
mean,
understand why the
s-
canceling business is so adamant when it comes to the Jays. For some reason, when any other group is discussed, it's no issue. But when you speak of the Jays, it seems to be an issue. Automatically, they need to be canceling people. That was my first concern. Like, what's up with that? I don't like Rupee and the view at all. But from a perspective of the way they're being treated, she's being treated here. I'm like, I don't know if this is necessary.
I don't know. Just every time I hear her speak, I just hear whoopee cushion going off.
So,
I never, to be honest, I have no idea what he's talking about half the time.
Whoopi is doopy.
Yep.
Somebody said. Okay, listen. Goldberg provoked strong reactions when she claimed during a discussion about the Holocaust themed graphic novel
Mouse.
Mouse, and the Holocaust was not about race. After Rupi made several apologies, ABC eventually suspended her from the show. But she raised eyebrow again when she revisited the topic during a December interview. While doing a press tour in London as one of the producers for the new movie Till about Emmett Till, 14-year-old black boy who was lynched in 19. I'm tired of these. I'm tired. I'm tired of race reminder movies because they don't achieve anything. But nevertheless, that's my perspective. Goldberg's comments came up as part of a conversation about race. She again suggested that she had reason to believe that the Jews were not a race. That's flawed. That's
Ugh.
not accurate.
Oh.
But do you notice what happened with Kanye, with Ye and what was his name? Kyrie and Whoopi,
Hmm.
they all fall in these anti-Semitic class of. I don't know if they even deserve this title, to be honest, because
Well, I mean, you think about it, that's what it is. It's an anti Semitic claim that if they don't believe Jews are a race, then
Yeah,
that's just what it is.
yeah, I can see what you're saying now. The interviewer pushed back as a co-host Joy Behar had the interview and saying that the Nazis saw the Jews as a race.
That's exactly how they saw them.
Yeah, absolutely. They wanted to eradicate the entire Jewish population. That these are historical facts. I'm not necessarily sure what these women are talking about sometime on the views.
I'm not sure what they're talking about ever on the
Yeah, I
View.
don't. I think we can certainly bypass that level of stuff here. I still feel sorry. Oh, there is her claim here. She had to again backpedal for what she said. Recently, while doing the press in London, I was asked about my comments from earlier this year. I tried to convey to the reporter what I had said and why, and attempted to recount that time. It was never my intention to appear as if I was doubling down on hurtful comments, especially after talking with and hearing people like rabbis and all new friends weighing in. So she went on to apologize, saying, I believe that the Holocaust was about race, and I'm still as sorry now as I was then that I upset and hurt and angered people. She continued, my sincere apologies again, especially to everyone who thought this was a fresh rehash of the subject. I promise it was not. In this in this time of rising anti-Semitism, I want to be very clear when I say that I always stood with the Jewish people and always will. My support for them has not wavered and never will.
But yet she continues to say things that are anti-Semitic. I
Yeah.
mean, when you're put on the spot, what you say carries much less weight
Hmm.
after the fact of when you say it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Greg said, "Who can watch the views without losing brain cells?"
I don't know, dude. I
Greg,
honestly don't know.
I
That's why I
used
don't watch it.
I used to watch the views, and I look at myself now and I feel sorry for my sins, and I'm like, yo, why was I watching these ladies? But I know I was doing it because I had nothing else to do. I used to just go to work, and while I was caring for my residents, and they would be watching the views, and I would listen to them, and I just thought they were just like a bunch of women who had nothing else to talk about but to talk about something, and I just sat there and say, okay, they're talking, and I really didn't care or even process what they were saying. But I think most people watch the views because they have nothing else to do with their time.
You
That's
know,
my
I mean,
perspective on
there's
that.
there's like I think two clips that I've watched in their entirety of the View, or at least two interviews that they've done in their entirety, and that was the Ted Cruz interview and the Kayleigh McEnany View.
Mm-hmm. These were
Other
good
than
ones.
other than that, I've never watched any part of the View, and the only reason I watched those is because they both put those women in their place.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, but again, I think a simple law that I will apply is that you just gotta be careful with your words. I don't. I'm not for cancel culture and when people are going after people's speech and stuff. But I am all for wisdom and tact in our conversation. I think we have
Well,
to be somewhat sensitive.
how does the Lord put it? Be slow to speak and quick.
Yeah, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to wrath.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, I think it's in the book of James. Actually, I'm in the book of James myself. Uh, this is actually the book of James itself has a whole chapter on the tongue for people who say, well, it doesn't matter what people say, yada yada. I'm like, yo, it does matter, man. Like, even in the spiritual sense, I've done a little bit of research, right? Most churches that are either dying or not prospering, you're going to find one thing that they all have in common. They have gossip. And that's something I've learned, my dear friends. Gossip or people who are saying things with their mouths they're not supposed to be saying, oftentimes are the reasons why Christians are hurt or people don't want to come to church, or some people, the church dies, members leave, never come back, kind of thing. Is because, whenever we are talking with our mouths and we're not saying the things we ought to be saying, it's a problem. And I'm not here to curtail and regulate anybody's tongue. You can say whatever you want, but you also got to be careful. You got to deal with the results as well. So this entire chapter is talking about your tongue, man. You got to control what you say. But I still disagree with the way cancel culture goes about that. I think they push it way too far. And I also do not agree with the way the Jays get to determine who is to be kept a job and who is to lose their job just because something is said about them when other communities are spoken about. I think the Jays and the trans community are among the most protected group of people now. that you just can't say anything about them, even if there may be, even if something that maybe not true. I just don't agree with the cancel culture, the way they go about doing that. I just don't like that. That's me. I don't know if she deserved to be canceled for that. I think definitely she need to be reprimanded or something. But the way they're going about it, I don't agree with that. And I don't think what she said here is that bad either for her to be losing her job and stuff like
Well,
that.
I mean, I kind of look at it from both perspectives of you have the right to say whatever you want in the US, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have the First Amendment and it's first for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that. But with that comes personal responsibility of taking personal responsibility for the things that you say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you have to choose your words carefully.
True. I agree.
And she's just reaping the repercussions of what happens when you speak out of line and out of turn
Mm-hmm. But
about a subject you know nothing about.
yeah, but I think that applies particularly to the Jays because they pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
to a large degree, you can't touch that community, and I don't agree with that notion in itself. But that's just what it is. But they say a lot of stuff. I recently heard them saying that. I think Sonny said that white women who vote Republican is like roaches voting for Raid or something like that. Which I was like, uh, and she doesn't get canceled for that. And, calling Ron DeSantis a fascist and stuff, and then trying to invite him to the views. I'm like, no wonder why he didn't show up. So, so these people, they say, I mean, they say a lot of things. Very, very rarely are they held accountable for what they say. I know they were blaming Turning Point USA for having white supremacists there. They were saying that they were supporting the whole thing when in reality that wasn't the case at all. So I mean, saying these women. I mean, when you hear cancel culture, and they're all among the loudest group that are calling for people to be canceled. So when they get
Hmm.
canceled every now and then, it's a little funny because it's like, okay, you've been asking for this for everybody else to be canceled. When it happens to you, I'm like, I don't know, I don't feel too bad because you've been
And
pushing it, you know. So
and that's the funny part about cancel culture is they always eat their own.
it's just a sad thing. Yeah.
Kingdom
Well,
begins with itself.
it's a self-destructive ideology, and nevertheless, it is what it is. Okay.